I also sometimes feel that the way we are with our children, it's it's also to some extent how we would have wanted our parents to be with us, and we get that opportunity to behave or
Yeah,
do
I would say
certain things that
I would.
we couldn't get or we couldn't ask for, because if I may say this, for the generation that the three of us come from, uh, you can't really tell your parents, can you? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? I
No,
mean, you can't, right? I mean, okay, there would be some leeway, I'm sure, but I mean, my mom, even at this stage, would insist that I bloody eat a pumpkin curry, and I hate pumpkin to the core, you know? So those kind of things,
yeah.
right?
You've actually opened a conversation for the next 1 hour. It's not.
No, it just crossed my mind. I just felt,
Yeah, no,
because
totally
sometimes,
understand point.
yeah, sometimes when I'm there with Ria, we do go through things, and I would always step back and reflect, how would have my mother responded in a given situation, or what would I have wanted out of her? Nothing good, nothing bad, but it's just a reflective process, and then you say, okay, this is my child. I will do, or I will conduct myself in a way which I think is going to be appropriate for all of us. And what that is again very relative, right?
Yeah, yeah, because I think
Sorry.
everybody, yeah, there's no black and white. I think it's a beautiful point. Since Saral and I have also grown up together, we were in school together, so we kind of know about each other's childhood and growing up. Um, and of course, we belong to the same generation. So my question, which you just opened up, now this conversation will where it lies, it does. But is it a good thing to be looking at it from this prism? Because uh, sometimes, uh, if your parents have been very indulgent with you, then you may land up becoming very, very strict, saying, okay, okay, everybody says that I'm a spoiled child. I've never understood. In fact, our spouses are the first to say, "Hey, this is how your mother has brought you up," or whatever. I'm not saying it. Just the implications are always that, okay, you haven't understood this basic lesson of life, and which is true. With my dad, I used to sometimes think, okay, because he was a lone child, he he was very adamant about getting something. And I used to wonder, but over a period, you there's another quote which Sarlam may not like as much was very few times in your life do you forgive your parents. So, which I do not agree with fully, but I think I understand the intensity with what it has been written. Because there are times, and I know of parents who've been very strict with their kids or uh, very, very strict to the point of if it were in the West, I think they would be arrested. Um, so then you wonder uh, what is it that that guy or that person would do with their kids. So is it a good prism? My question is, if the answer is that we are trying to make up for something that we did not get as kids, I'm opening it up. Feel free to take this forward because it's a very loaded thing. Good things are fine because I was feeling you seem to be the moral models of parenting. I suddenly am not up to it. But the point is, within that also there are so many things that we. I have another question also. We can come to both the questions simultaneously at some point. Is when Saral said I would sit down with my son and confess. Uh, at times when you can't do it because it's just impossible to come to terms with it yourself. You may my dad had Alzheimer's, and there were times when I behaved much lesser than ideal. And the only thing that I did is I always told my kid the truth. But sometimes even you don't understand it. It is beyond your comprehension when you're dealing with something as big as that. But without getting into exact examples, I'm saying these two things, when you're looking at it from the prism of what is happening to you, because we are also human beings, we are not machines that we've set certain rules. And while we may say words like naturally that Sujata said and Saral has been standing up for, I would love to be in that mode, but very often it is very difficult. Very difficult. How do you reconcile your own flaws, which you are unable to take care of as a parent? How do you explain it to your kid, or you did say that kids
Um,
are going to go by what we say. How do you reconcile? Is there anything that we talk with them? Is there anything that can be said? What do you tell your kid when they know that you're clearly wrong? All of us.
um, I mean, if I may say this, it's a constant work in progress, right? I mean, I tell my child, I don't have all the answers. The possibility of me getting everything wrong is highly possible, but that is how I'm going to learn. So I don't have a manual. Deal with it, right? I mean, in a nice way, of course. So I would say, I think it's a constant work in progress, and some days you get it, some days you don't. And I think reconciling is a very hard word. I would say it's like I wouldn't agree to the word reconciling. I would probably say, I mean, you just make peace with it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's with our foibles.
my
So we
point.
so we make peace with our foibles. Do you agree,
Yes. Oh
Sarah?
yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Um, I I did not. I have never reflected on my parenting as in reference to my childhood. If I was to, I mean, Bunty, you know, like I come from a very conservative family in certain ways, but liberal in certain ways. Um, there were a lot of restrictions, but when I look back, I remember things like, oh, I come from a joint family. Oh, I never had a sad moment. Oh, I never was lonely. And I used to share this with my sister-in-laws, and I used to do this, and we used to play this. So these are my memories of my childhood. So when I look back, there were some major unpleasant experiences um, for my parents and for me, which is a reality that is always going to remain. But um, whether we call it reconciliation or coming at peace with it, I think they both make meaning to me when I think of those major episodes which were very unpleasant between me and my parents. I went through a phase where I felt um, bitter towards my father, but I'm self-proclaimed, but I'm a very reflective person. I did not allow myself to be in that zone for more than maybe a week or two, that level of bitterness. Um, and I made peace with it, or I reconciled, however you look at it. Um, I and my son knows about it all. He knows about it all. So there's no secrets from him. And it's not that he knows about it now. He knew about it at a very young age. Even when he was 10, he knew about the differences between me and my father. So for me, I think, I've always been a mother to him, but we've always had this relationship where I would slowly and steadily give him information that his mind was ready to, um, you know, grasp and understand. So, and many times there is no other way but to make peace with things. There's no point in fighting those things. We are only going to make our life and experiences more miserable. So there some things, not some things, actually everything is how it is. You have to accept it. You have to sort of mold yourself to the best of your ability and move on. Um, like I will often say, chalti ka naam zindagi. Why resist? Why resist? If there's something you can do about it, like for example, I think, Patti, at some point you were saying that it is not always easy to confess, right? So the confession words are also based on the age of your child. Like today, I don't have to really play with my words. I can tell it to Utkarsh as is. In fact, you won't believe, there are times when I'm very upset about a work issue or something, or even a social issue for that matter. You know, and I will sit with Utkarsh and I'll say, Utkarsh, what would you do? Like, he loves to read and he's also a very reflective person. So I go to him as my advisor, you know, as my mentor, you know, and I take great pride in that because he is not invested emotionally in that situation. So he will look at it very objectively and he will tell me very personal thing. Last night I was working on a project, not last night, Friday night, I was working on a project and we were up till 3 in the morning, and at 2 o'clock I was so tired. My husband was trying to tell me something and we were sort of having the typical husband-wife arguments, and Utkarsh witnessed it all. And he's so mature. The following day, all three of us were sitting and reflecting on that project that we were working. And he tells Papa, you did X, Y, and Z, and that was not reasonable. And Mama, you did A, B, and C, and that was not reasonable. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was the mediator. How cool is that?
Yeah. I think
for me, it was like validation because he said something to Naishad which I was upset with him. And I said, Dekha, Utkarsh ne bhi bola.
Yeah, I think you don't need mirrors in your house because all of your reflective surfaces as it comes across. But on a serious note, a couple of things that came out from what Sujata said and you said. Are we saying that if we hold on to being truthful, you guys didn't use the word, but what I realized is in every different examples that you gave, when you sat with your kids, you were truthful to the extent that it was possible for them to comprehend, or else you were truthful to the fact that you were, to make Saral happy about that, you are being competent as a parent, but you're laying down the rules. There is no ambiguity about the fact. So there's clarity that you're not going to get ice cream, or you're not going to get chocolate, or you're not going to get an answer to this thing, but that is what it is at this moment. What also came to me much before Saral, sorry, yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It is very important what you said, like lay the rules. For example, I've seen parents do this. Chup karo, nahi, like social gathering में चुप करो नहीं तो घर लेके जाऊंगी, चुप करो नहीं तो घर लेके जाऊंगी, तो घर कभी जाते नहीं है. मैं बोलती हूँ एक बार जाके दिखाओ तो बच्चे को भी पता चले कि you mean it.
You mean it, true.
So don't talk the talk, walk the talk.
Yeah. And the other part is once you start doing it, because we are talking about parenting as a subject, is when you start not only saying the truth, a very nice point that you made is living the truth. Once you start saying it, obviously at some point, one is also living the truth. So maybe that is an answer to the people who have certain habits that they are trying to fight, at least to start with acknowledging and saying, okay, this is a problem that I have. I may not have an answer, which is also again borrowing from what Sujata said, deal with it. I am your parent. I have this problem. I am not God or a goddess. I do not have all the answers, but I promise I'll try and work on it if I can, and try and be genuine. If you're not going to work on it, even mention that I'm not going to work on it. I don't have a control over it. At least the kid doesn't have any false expectations of what is coming from the parent. So when he goes out in the world, he or she goes out in the world, they will learn to take words at surface value and look at actions, because they will understand my parent has indirectly taught me that my words are this, my actions are this, but I cannot match them. But they've been honest about it. Then the other part, what I liked was because of this entire thing, and both of you being happy about the fact, of course, my own daughter also does this to me very often. She's a good epitome of wisdom when mine absolutely fails, is the part that you've been honest and you've been truthful and you've been wise and thought it important enough to sit with them to explain why your decision is what it is. Very often, in the heat of the moment, it is not possible. But once the event has passed, nothing has stopped us from sitting with them and acknowledging their humanity and saying, okay, look, this is what the matter is, this is what I can explain to you. And these are things that I cannot explain to you. I wasn't as clear as Saral was about the ratings business, but I have always told her, look, you're too young to understand this, and I don't know a better way to explain it to you. At some point, we'll sit, and when you are a little older, hopefully, both of us will sit and have this conversation. And they respect the fact that you are the same, and that is how your kid is able to. He finds what you are not seeing is the independence that we started the conversation with is with him. He can sit with his parents and tell them that this is where you're going wrong. And while you're laughing, and it's a very typical husband-wife thing that, look, this is what he's saying and he agrees and all. But I think it's a wonderful thing that the kid goes out and he has a reasonable sense of judgment that they've come up with. Because my biggest concern as parents always, at least in India, has been you can give them money and you can give them status and you can give them education also. You can't give them character. They're going to borrow your character from what you are. And you may have a car, and if you're going to park it in the middle of the road while talking to a friend or something and do not care about other people being stuck in a traffic jam or some such thing, I think it's very poor parenting. I have rarely ever blamed kids for it. I personally think it's always the fault of ourselves. Somewhere somebody didn't tell him that this ought to be done. Life is, and one nice thing that I found, which is the biggest value of all for all of us as kids, I think we are also kids for someone somewhere. Uh, the part that life is always going to pan out the way it wants to pan out. We don't have a handle on it. And I think that's the biggest thing that Sharon mentioned. All of us, in fact, a couple of our talks, we've always landed up coming to that part which is beyond our wisdom. We just have to say, you have to accept. And acceptance is a good value to pass on. If we start to take it